evening, everybody, and welcome to Club Live here on Club at 22, one of your Rangers podcasts. Where we're here this evening to continue the discussion around the new manager, Philippe Clement, and also look ahead to his first game in charge against Hibernian tomorrow at Ibrox at 3 o'clock. Before we get into things, as always, I would just start off with asking you even to like, share, and subscribe the video, and tell all your friends about it, as we are growing ever so well this year, and we'd like to continue to do so. And also, before we start, let's introduce the guests. First up, Mr. Alistair Pearson. How are things with you?
Very well, Scotia. Looking forward to tomorrow. A Saturday 3 o'clock, as always say, I enjoy that. I think we're having a few beverages tomorrow as well. So, yes, looking forward to it. Just don't ruin it for me, Rangers. Yes. That's all I
ask. We'll see. And also on the pod this evening is Mr. Scott Carney. How are things with you, Scott?
Yes, good, mate. It's very different doing a Club Live before a game. Actually looking forward to going to Ibrox this season. So, no, I am very much looking forward to it. It has been a while, mate. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. A few beers, 3 o'clock on a Saturday. Already cleared it with the missus, so we're rocking. We're all good. Good evening, chat. Good evening, everybody. Good to see you all. And it's nice that I'll actually be able to interact a wee bit more with you, considering I'm not on my own. So, good to be here, mate.
Not flying solo anymore. Yeah, no. So like I say, I think what we'll do this evening is I think we're just going to stick with Kenny Clement, because there's just new manager. You've got that new manager buzz. There's an awful lot to discuss about him. We probably didn't get everything we needed to say about him done in the pod we done on Tuesday night, and also Carney following on from the pod you released last night with Adam Thornton from Heart and Hand. I had a listen to that today. Very good pod. Although I remember you saying you've got a special guest on, and I was like, right, I wonder who it's going to be. I didn't ask you. I've not asked you this at all. And I was like, right, I wonder what he's going to say. And then see, as soon as I got home from work yesterday, it flashed up Adam Thornton, and I was like, you bugger, because you're about to talk about something that I wanted to talk about. But it gives us a nice continuation of the kind of thing, because we didn't really discuss it on Club Deck Corner, but I wanted to kind of discuss as well, like, how do you see Clement going with this team in terms of tactics and in terms of, like, what's he going to do immediately? What do you see him going forward? So now that you've done the pod with Adam, you've probably had a wee bit of time to digest what you guys discussed on the pod. Have you had time to, have you thought of anything else following that podcast that you released yesterday?
No, I think it's always good when you've got somebody kind of tactically minded, as the way Adam is. And again, thanks to Adam for giving up his time to come on and do it with me last night. It's always good to have his perspective on things because of the way that he looks at a squad, for example, and he identifies players being in different positions. I think what we spoke about last night in terms of formation under Clement, I wouldn't be shocked if it's a 4-2-3-1, and a pretty structured 4-2-3-1 at that. And that's based on the stuff that he's done previously, and obviously the players that we have available just now within the squad. I know we'll come on to later on about who is available and who isn't, but I wouldn't be opposed to that either. My biggest thing about Clement just now is give players actual roles, give them a better understanding of what you expect from them on the pitch, and everything else should really take care of itself. We've got a good enough squad. I know some of the players that we have signed are always going to come up for debate right now, but it's almost time to give them the benefit of the doubt as such. Some more than others. I think that give them the benefit of the doubt, and then let's see what happens under Clement and what he intends to implement within the team. The biggest thing that I took away from last night when speaking with Adam is, all we have to see is that he's building something, or he's trying to focus towards something. That's the biggest thing I think every Rangers fan wants, is to be able to understand what the manager's trying to do on the football pitch, because Beale, it didn't look as if he had a clue, as if there was any real idea behind it all. It was a bit of a mess. But no, I mean, me and Adam, I intended to do about, as I said to Adam, we'll do about 20-25 minutes, and I think we went on for nearly 40, but that just kind of shows you it was a good conversation. If you haven't watched it, please go back and check it out and let us know. It will be something that we drop in from time to time. We'll do a Club Extra pod, I've decided to call it, and I've done new artwork and all that for it. So just from time to time, and different things crop up, I can get different guests on and stuff, and just a wee bit more bang for your buck, I suppose, in terms of being able to tune into us, and we'll have kind of different looks on things. But yeah, it was a really good pod, mate. I found myself doing the thing that I do sometimes when guests are on, and I just listen and pretend like, can I forget that I'm doing a podcast and I'm just going to listen to the guest talk. So I done a wee bit of that, but no, it was a cracking pod, mate.
Yeah.
If I don't,
Ali,
if I
before I
don't
come to
say
you,
myself, obviously.
yeah, pat on the back there, Carney. Yes, Ali. Before I come at you, Aldo 21574 has said, did he hear Ryan, the manager, refer to Ryan Jack as
Ryan.
Jack Ryan today in the presser? Yes, he did. So
did,
everyone in the comments, get your Hunt for the Red October jokes out the way very fastly now. And yes, come to you, Ali, because like I said, I wanted to kind of talk about it because we didn't really on Tuesday evening started talking to how we expected Clement to go about his business in terms of how he would do with this, what he would do with this teams. And one of the reasons for me that Clement was probably, like I said on Tuesday night, that was probably my preferred option, was that I could see what he could probably do with this team in terms of his style of play that we've seen previously. I think Muscat was maybe a wee bit more rip it up, and it would be a quite a drastic different approach, whereas I seen with Clement that there could be that like gradual step change. What are your thoughts around it?
I was just laughing at Jack Ryan in the comments of Scotia. I did have a chuckle to myself in the car away from work when he said it. It brought me back to Cashinha when he called, I think Andy Hardy said a story that he called the Barry Mackay some complete different name before. Folk were saying, who's that guy? But anyway, Scotia, sorry, I've gone off track there. But in terms of going forward with Clement, and I think he'll play a similar-ish type formation to what we've been used to, but I think there'll be more structure in it. I agree with you. I think he's a safer option in terms of the group of players we've got to work with at the moment. In terms of, you say, Muscat is, I think folk refer to him like, if you want to say, Postecoglou in terms of this attacking football. But in terms of the players, I hope he comes in and brings a structure like Carney, put players where they're supposed to play, where they know where they're supposed to play with a bit of belief. I thought he interviewed quite well in the press conference today, Scotia. I know you'll come on to that. But I just want him to bring a structure to the team, because all this season we've all been looking at each other going, what formation are we playing? The players never looked like they knew what they were doing. So I just want him to come in and we can see what he's doing and put a structure forward. I don't think there'll be drastic changes, Scotia, in terms of the formations we've been kind of used to over the last couple of years. I agree with Carney. Could be a similar formation to what he said, but there'll be more structure in it. And I think as his fans, we'll be able to buy into it more than what we could with Beale previously.
No, definitely that. Carney, I know in the pod that you done with Adam, you spoke about it looks, and you said there as well, like it looks pretty much like he's going to have to go with a 4-2-3-1. Oh no, this pod's probably going to be all over the place in terms of where we're going into the press conference, maybe touching on the Hibs game before we actually go to the Hibs game to preview it, but that's the way it'll be. But it looks like with the injuries and stuff, with the players available for his selection, 4-2-3-1 is probably what we're going to see from the start. But over this kind of period at Club Brugge, at Monaco, and at I can't remember the other team off the top of my head, the other Belgian team he went to, 4-4-2 is kind of featured quite often, and it's not really a formation we see anymore in kind of football these days.
No, I mean it's well, again, it's one of those. It's like a trend. I think formations are like trends. They all tend to come back around again. Everybody moved to a 4-3-3, if you like, and then you kind of move. It all moves itself. Kind of background in circles. I wouldn't be opposed to a kind of a version of 4-4-2, depending on how Dessers gets on under the command of Clement, and obviously Danilo comes back fit. So I think there's scope for him to do many things, and I don't think he'll be. I don't think he'll be set on this is my formation, this is the way we play, and we're never going to change from that. From bits that Adam was talking about last night, he seems very much like he'll pick players suitable for games, and he'll pick formations that are suitable for games. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's already thinking of working on various formations that we can switch to in games, but should it need to happen. I think in terms when it comes to the majority of the games within Scottish football and the league especially, you're going to get away with a 4-2-3-1 more often than not. It is as pretty simple as you can get in terms of football right now. You'll be playing your back four, probably a bit of pace and width in your wing backs, two defensive central midfielders, if you like, one to sit, one to go, a 10, two wingers, or an inside forward, as Adam called it, and a winger with an out-and-out striker. So it would seem to work. I think that right now it's difficult to say. As I say, this is all guesswork. It could be completely different when we get to the game. But no matter what, I think we're all quite right to have a wee bit of optimism around it, because it is something new. It's something to be excited about again. And we've mentioned it before. Going to Ibrox this season was an absolute slog, man. It really was. Like, when going to the Aberdeen game, I remember saying to Ali, I was like, I don't want to go here. Like, and as I say, it's now time to almost try and put that away to bed, and just to back the manager and let him tinker with what he has just now at his disposal and see what he comes up with. See if he can get a tune. I'm all for it. I'm very much looking forward to seeing what he does. But again, I'm not expecting tomorrow to be something I've never seen before, or something that's completely out the blue. I expect it to be pretty safe to an extent. It all depends on how the players now decide to implement that, I suppose, and whether they completely buy into what Clement's trying to get across to them. But either way, mate, I think it's interesting. I think we could guess until it was midnight tonight, and we might not even get it correct about what we see tomorrow. But either way, I'm looking forward to getting to Ibrox tomorrow.
Excellent. I've just had a wee notification there from the Rangers YouTube channel that Jack Butland's playing Jenga. So if anyone listening, watch that after you've watched us, obviously. Ali, both you and Carney there mentioned something, and Clement mentioned it in his press conference about playing with structure, kind of playing with discipline. And I don't know about yourself, but from his press conference today and from the unveiling of him in the Blue Room there on Tuesday, I get that impression from him. I don't think that he takes fools gladly, and I'm looking forward to seeing how the players react to that under him. I don't know about you.
You could tell he's got a bit of authority about him, Scotia, even in that press today, where the usual suspects up in the press up here asking stupid questions and looking for responses from him.
Oh, we'll come to that stupid question. Don't worry about that.
Rahman Bardwa, whatever he's called.
He is terrible, by the way. Honestly, he is so bad.
Does he honestly think he's going to come out and give him stupid answers?
I know.
You guys media trained. He's so stupid. But Scotia, in terms of the discipline and that, yeah, I think he's a guy not to be messed with, Scotia. I think he'll put a discipline in his team. I think he wants to bring the belief back to this team, Scotia. He wants to bring a structure to it, and he's saying all the right things, Scotia. I'll believe it when I see it in the football park with this group of players, because they've really shown us nothing this season. So if he can turn some of these players round, I'll be very impressed, to be honest, because a lot of them have been written off. But yeah, I think he'll bring a good structure to this Rangers team moving forward, Scotia. So it'll be interesting going forward in terms of positions, because we've went to Ibrox this season and looked at certain players and looked at tactics in terms of Beale, Canning, and Adam noted the one last night in terms of Matondo and Scott Wright at one point when we switched wings and stuff like that. We were sitting at Ibrox confused. Under this guy, I don't think we'll see that. I think we'll buy into what he's doing, and he seems like a proper manager so far in terms of in front of the camera at the moment, Scotia.
Yeah, and then one final thing before we go into some wee bit other bits and news and pieces before we go to Hibs is we didn't speak about it on Tuesday night. And this was from the presser as well. He was asked a question around it, but he's confirmed that Stefan van der Heyden is going to be the assistant manager, Carney. Now, one of my big worries with Beale was, I know at the time when Beale came in, I was quite looked at the staff that he was bringing in and thought, no, they've got experience, they could do this, they could do that. It didn't work. And then I didn't have any confidence from the start of this season in the backrooms team, really, and I think that kind of showed in some of the players' performances. But with Van der Heyden coming in, being confirmed, obviously there's more of the coaching team to be built. Along with him, I think he's really, really good pals with Clement. I think he's the godfather to one of Clement's sons, long-time friends. I think he's almost like, no, I'm not going to, and I'll say it, he's like the Archie Knox to Walter Smith. Get that kind of feeling about
That's a big
it. I don't
statement
know
there,
about you.
Gemo, you've just said there.
I know it is. I know.
You'll be shot down in a few months' time.
I think we're right to be. He's right to be rewarded the chance to bring in who he wants. Now, I'm not going to pretend I know anything about him, but the relationship between the two has to be strong. And the fact that I already know his name when I didn't know the assistant manager under Beale for I don't know how long it was. It was quite a while before I figured out who it was. But that's all based on as well the lack of, I think, real experience that Beale had on his coaching staff. He didn't really have anyone that had kind of been there, done that, and bought the t-shirt. There was a lot of inexperience there, and a lot of them are probably, what's the word I'm looking for, overawed at the fact that they were awarded the opportunity, because, I mean, the way you look at it now, none of it worked really under Beale. It was a bit of a mess towards the end of last season. Yes, he got to tune out the players, but the pressure was off, and we did mention that in podcast before, that the pressure was off at that point of the season, and he still ultimately didn't win any big games. So the fact that I know it, and even like today, there was the training videos released earlier. I caught it just as I come in from work. And you see Beale, Van der Heyden, Alex Ray and Steve Davis all walking onto the training pitch together, and I was like, that's not done by accident. That's not a coincidence. This is very much he's building, and he wants people to see that he's building his coaching staff. I'm not saying that Alex Ray and Steve Davis are definitely going to be there going forward. I expect maybe one of the two of them to maybe continue on, maybe both. I don't know how it's going to look, but it's not a coincidence that he's trying to show cohesion, and he's trying to put his coaching staff in front of the cameras as much as the playing staff, because I think he'll realise himself. He seems like quite a clever man. I think he'll have done his homework fine well under what went wrong under Beale, and I'm pretty sure he watched back Neil Banfield's interview that he done in front of the press. That was an absolute car crash for everyone to witness.
There was two of them. There was two of them, Carney. People forget the first one he done in the League Cup as well.
He only had two, and he made an arse of them.
The latest one that he done, it was horrific. It was one of the it was horrible. I actually think I tweeted about it. It was that bad. But I think Clement's doing things like that on purpose. Now, again, I don't know if Van der Heyden's going to be the guy for the job or not, but if Clement trusts in him, then I think that's key. And I do believe, for the stature of manager that he is, and I'm not trying to blow smoke up his arse or make him bigger, make him to be bigger than what he's meant to be. But if for example, if he was still coaching at Monaco, he wouldn't be the Rangers manager. Rangers wouldn't have been able to get him. So he was available in the market, and it is quite a decent calibre of manager, more than decent calibre of manager to be bringing into Rangers. I fully believe he's been gave the reassurances that he can pretty much appoint who he wants. It's up to him to appoint his staff. I don't think there'll be much input from the board. Maybe obviously down to wages and things like that, the boring stuff, the contracts, the signings of bits of paper, etc. But I don't really think the board will get too influenced in it, because as much as Clement's calling us a project, he is very much a project now for the board, that the board are going to have to be brave and see through, and the fans are going to need to be patient. And I know that's easier said than done as Rangers fans, myself included, but we're going to need to show a bit of patience now, because we can't continue to go down the road of every year we look for a new manager. We have to have stability now going forward. So same as the director of football role, I fully expect Clement will have a massive say in who that is. I would be surprised if the person has not already been approached for exactly the person that Clement wants. So it's all these things that will slowly fall into place, and then it really will be down to the nitty gritty for Clement to get the best out of what he has until we get to January.
Yeah, quickly, Ali, just your thoughts on him bringing in Van der Heyden with him, because Van der Heyden, he wasn't part of the setup under Clement at Club Brugge or at Monaco or at that other club that escapes my mind at the moment. But what are you
talking about, Genk?
Van der Heyden? No. There was a starts with a W. A Belgian team that starts with a W.
Right. Okay, his first team. Yeah.
And I'm forgetting Genk as well. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't know much about him, Scotia, apart from he played in that game that I think somebody in the comments said, the one that Scott Nisbet scored that wonder goal against Bruges. If you've never seen that goal in the comments, go to YouTube and watch it. It was the most bizarre goal you ever see at Ibrox. But he's got a guy in that he trusts Scotia. He knows inside out. You referred to a kind of Archie Knox, Walter Smith there, in terms of they know each other inside out. You want that because, like,
I'm going to regret that.
You are going to regret that, Scotia. That'll be screenshotted and everything. No, a guy that he trusts. Carney said in terms of the Michael Beale and his backroom staff with Banfield, and I just never got it at all. Never got it. But this
put it this way: name the rest of the coaching staff under Beale, because you can't.
Who was the other one? Harry, such and such.
Yeah, exactly.
Jack Eadie. And there was Jack Eadie was there as well, wasn't he? And then I think that's all I can do off the top of my head.
There you go. That kind of sums it up, doesn't it? But
exactly.
But I'm interested to see this guy. And I'd be lying if I knew much about him. I don't at all. But if he trusts him and he's worked with him before, and Scotia says he's the godfather to one of his children, then so we must trust him. So I'll be interested going forward. But it's other bits of the backroom staff I'm interested in, Carney, as well. This link guy you want to say in terms of, is it Steve Davis, Alec Ray, whoever it is? But I'm interested who we add to in terms of that staff as well. But and Alec Ray and Steve Davis, if they were to stay on as part of that staff, I would be happy going forward with that. And then obviously you've got director of football, which is another story to bring in too.
Yeah. Right, we'll park that there for the moment. There's a couple of wee things that I wanted to talk about that we didn't discuss because of the new manager coming in that we probably would.
Scotia, you like that photo for Freuer? Sorry.
You will like that photo.
Look at that, Scotia, eh?
Is that is it McGinn?
Scotia's super John McGinn, eh?
No, I'm going to Germany next year, mate. So this is a Rangers podcast, right? I've got my Scotland.
I'll ask a question though as well with it though, and thank you very much for the super chat. It's very much appreciated. I really hope he gives Butland the captaincy over Tav. Do you agree? I know we're going off on a sidetrack there, but do any of you care to take an answer to that first?
He'll look at it. He'll look at you go, Scotia.
Right, sorry, there's a wee delay there. For me, no. I think I said this on Tuesday. I don't see the benefit of changing the captain right now. He can maybe evaluate it in January once he's had those few months. But like I said on Tuesday, I'm never a fan of changing the captain unless you really have to. If a player's done something that kind of approaches gross misconduct or something like that. I don't know about you, Ali.
I think he'll change it in the summer next year. That's what I think he'll do, because potentially we've all looked at Tav this season. He's is Tav now 31 or something? So he's on the way down, if you want to say, in terms of his career, in terms of what he does as a right back for Rangers. So I think Rangers will look at that right back situation this summer. So I wouldn't be surprised if there was a new captain at Rangers next season.
Yeah, I would probably go along with that. I'm in the same boat as both of you. I don't think it achieves much changing the captaincy right now, and he's coming into a fragile squad in terms of the way this season has went, and it's the right thing to do to strip the captaincy of probably the most highly influential player within the dressing room. It's probably not a good look. Do I think it won't happen in the future? No, I think it probably will. But I also still revert back to my thing that I always say. I don't believe Tav will play every single game, and when that happens, the choice will need to be made whether the Goldson plays and Goldson gets the captaincy, or Butland, or whomever it may be. I think we might see Tav playing less and less, especially in the right back position. Whether he's got other ideas for him and going forward, but I don't know. But in terms of, if I was just picking him as a right back, I don't think we're going to see him forever anyway. So the decision's going to need to get made at one point. But I would probably go with the side of what Ali said there. I would expect summertime, once we finish this season off. I would expect him to make a decision at that point, because I don't think Tav's got another season in him, really, to be able to play every game the way he has for Rangers. So I think it's coming, but I don't think the time's going to be now.
Yeah. One thing I should say as well is I really don't like my goalkeepers being captains. So
I agree with that, Scotia. I agree with that.
Unless I don't feel, obviously we put quite a lot of stock in captaincy over here, particularly in Britain, particularly in Scotland. And for me, the goalkeeper, he's not in a position, unless he's got a voice like Alan McGregor, to kind of influence the play further up the pitch. For me, it's always going to have to be like one of your defenders, ideally one of your central defenders, one of your central midfielders. For me, is kind of your ideal captain sort of choices. Moving on to someone that definitely won't be captain material in the vast, in fact, probably 100% of the Rangers fan base is Borna Barisic. I wanted to quickly discuss him because he was obviously in international duty, and Ivan Pudar, probably masquerading as Ryan Haymarch, pretty much said after the Croatia's game that Barisic would not be a starter for me if I was manager. I watched him in Wales. He received 15 passes, and in 10 of the passes he passed inside to Gvardiol. He lacks the confidence to go forward. Ali, you can't really disagree with that.
You can, because the moth's out there, so he'll be in the moth's hit list along with Haymarch. We don't even know where Haymarch is. He's supposed to be in Turkey, but for all we know, he's in the moth's basement right now. But
he could be.
Barisic. I'm surprised he still kind of plays left back for Croatia. Who's the other? Is it Borna Souza or something? Scotia, is that the other guy that kind of plays left back? For because he kind of took over Barisic, and I think he's kind of fallen out of favour. Barisic's back in, but we see it with Barisic in terms of he does that at Rangers. I don't think he's helped on that side half the time in terms of the players who's in front of him, in terms of he has to check back half the time because there's nobody to pass to. Nobody wants the ball. So I think Barisic gets a hard time at points at Rangers Scotia in terms of that, because nobody wants the ball. Especially that kind of, how many times this season have you seen Barisic get the ball and nobody wants it? So he has to play it back. So I'll be interested to see Barisic under Clement. But again, Scotia, he's one for me in the summer that we need to look at a left back. And Yilmaz, here's a spoiler for my team on Saturday. Yilmaz starts on Saturday, not because Barisic is back from international duty, but I start Yilmaz on Saturday.
Yeah, all right, okay. Carney, the reason I brought up Barisic in that comment, obviously it was a few days ago now, and it's for Croatia, but it's this. We've noticed that Brian constantly talks about that and cutting inside. Sometimes I tend to agree with Ali that there's maybe not the option there, but it sort of ties into what Clement had to say in his press conference today about being brave, no side to sides, playing the ball forwards, like all these kind of things. You could lump on Barisic at times. I don't know what you thought about the comments, and do you see any kind of improvement from Barisic? Because I've not looked into this in any detail, but I have seen a few stories pop up that Barisic might be getting offered a contract because of interest. I don't know if you've seen any of them. Don't know if there's any truth. Like I say, I've not looked into them.
I'm signing Borna Barisic on another contract's a massive mistake in my opinion. I don't think we should be looking to do that. He's one of the old guard that he's fallen into that old guard now that his time at Rangers is probably coming to an end. Is Yilmaz injured? No, is he fit?
Nice fit. I've seen him.
No, he was on the bench for Turkey.
Oh, so he's fit, right? That's cool. That's fair enough. Spoiler alert: Yilmaz plays for me as well, but Barisic. I 100% agree, Rally. I do, in terms of when he's going forward. Sometimes there was nothing for him to hit, especially with Beale. There was nothing there. There was no width in the team. There was a crowded midfield that was getting crowded even more by the opposition team because it was the only route that he had to go. I do think he doesn't help himself sometimes. With his kind of cutbacks and his lack of bravery on the ball at times, he can't really beat a man either. Like for a rampaging fullback, if you like, he can't really beat a man. The ball the overlap already has to be complete before the ball's played to him, if that makes sense, for him to give him space. I think he's got a cracking left foot. We've all said that. Some of his crosses are spectacular, and even this season, some of the crosses he's put in have been superb, and there's been nobody there to take advantage of it. So I can understand that element to his game, but it's not a shock that that comment was made around him, because it's what we've seen, it's what we know about Borna Barisic. He's the most confidence players I've ever seen in my entire life, and it seems to, even if he's probably feeling okay but the team aren't, then it'll affect him at the same time as well. He's not what we need to go forward now. He really isn't. I don't know if Yilmaz really is the answer either, to be honest, because I do think his injury proneness is a concern for the age that he is, but he is still very, very young. He is still young in comparison to what Barisic is. So, yeah, I wouldn't be looking to extend Borna Barisic's stay at Rangers. I really wouldn't. But I am interested to see if, I put it this way, I would like to think that if Clement is telling the players to pass forward, not pass side to side, if Barisic doesn't listen and he starts tomorrow, I would like to see Clement go, right, well, if you're not going to do what I tell you, you're coming off. And I think that would be a good indication to the fans that he won't put up with the players not doing what he's telling them to do. So, but I think we're not hearing anything new about Barisic. It's something that we've all seen for far too long now. Will we see an improvement? Hand on my heart, I'll say no. I don't think we will. I don't think he's at the age where he can make an improvement. However, a change in shape, a change in player roles within the squad, within the tactics, and players occupying different areas of the pitch, we might see a resurgence of them. We possibly might. I think every player right now, as I've said, they deserve the benefit of the doubt, but just to almost be rejudged again by the fans and to see where we are going forward. Too many of them have let us down far too many times before, but it's we've got nothing we can do about it right now. There is a restriction on the size of the squad, the depth of the squad. I'm not opposed to seeing youth players come into the fray and give them a go at it, because I don't see why you shouldn't. But for right now, I'm trying to remain as open-minded as I can going into the game tomorrow. You're on mute.
Sorry, I done that while I was taking a wee vape there. Sorry, everyone. Back to the bloopers. Yeah, international week's been, you can tell he's clearly see I'm not up to match fitness yet anyway. But it's hit the half-hour mark, so that means it's time for a word from our sponsors.
Oh, it's coming. Give me a minute. There you go.
You're no match fit either, Connie. Yes, Club at 22 sponsors Manscaped have taken a step up from the Halloween to bring your face the cleanest shave it's ever seen. So this season, no need to toil and trouble. Manscaped's all-new Handyman is the best way to get rid of that stubble. Featuring a compact design and next-gen skin-safe technology, the Handyman was designed to give you that smooth finish without the mess of a traditional shave. Get the sweetest treat this Halloween by going to manscaped.com and using the code CLUBAT22 for 20% off and free shipping. The Handyman Skin Safe technology will help to reduce nicks and cuts so you can finally feel confident when going for that close shave. For wet or dry use, feel free to bring this anywhere and everywhere. The compact design makes the perfect travel tool for one on the go. The Handyman's capability of shaving up to 3 days growth without the mess of a wet shave is priceless. Manscaped have also launched the Beer Hedge Pro Kit. The kit has everything you need to tame your mane. Your Halloween costumes may take effort, but beard grooming doesn't need to when you can get 20 different beard lengths in just one guard. There's no trick with this treat. Manscaped has you covered. Once again, Manscaped supports Club at 22, the Rangers podcast, so much they've provided an exclusive offer for our listeners and viewers. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code CLUBAT22 at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com using the code CLUBAT22. For a look as sweet as candy, get yourself the Handyman and the Beard Hedger Pro Kit from Manscaped.
But you on fast forward there?
You can tell I've been out the game for a while.
We better rusty. Disappointed in you there, Scotia.
For a while. I told you I'm no match fitness. Ryan's kind of been thundering ahead of me when I've been kind of missing for the last wee while. But there we go.
Have you used the Handyman, Scotia?
As always. Not yet, no. I'm sitting beside me.
That's good.
Game changer. Absolute game changer.
I've not used it yet. I enjoy it. Yeah, right. Before we get on to the presser, just a very, very, very quick wee points. I've not asked you this, guys, yet, but the next CEO fan forum's taking place on the 7th of November. The registration closed today. Did any of you register for the ballot? Ali, no. Carney, no,
I did not. No, I did not.
All right. Right. Well, I've registered. Let's see. Hope I'm successful. But seeing as you didn't, what would I give? I know we've done this before the last time it was run, but I'm going to ask you again because there's been that change in management. What would your question be if you were given the chance to anyone that would be there from the board? Ali, Scott looked confused there. Yeah, Scott looked really confused there, so I'll give him some time. What would your question be And listeners, what would your questions be?
What would my question be? Did Michael Beale sanction all those signings in the summer? And they're never probably going to say that. They're going to roundabout answer. They'll give you something. But did he sanction all those signings?
Yeah, well, there was something that actually came out about that saying that it was Besgrove saying that it was, months, maybe years, maybe the last sporting director that these transfers had been in Rangers' eye. So, don't know. Carney, you had enough time yet?
That's a tough one, mate. That is a real tough one. I'm trying to think of one that you would actually get a genuine response to instead of just kind of falling around the houses about it and kind of popping things off. What would my answer? Oh, mate, I don't know. That's what my question be. That's a real difficult one. That is a real difficult one. It's tough, mate. Honestly, I had not really one's coming close to mind. I can't really think of one off the top of my head. There'll be plenty, so I suppose in the comments I would get that, but I would probably go around the choices to let Lowry and Hadji go, and I know that's me going a wee bit back on my word but they must have assessed the squad and looked at what they had and decided that the best thing to do would be to let Hadji and let Lowry go, and I think they would have made a real impact, and there would have been a different option to have in terms of just sticking with Lammers and Dessers and even Seema when he wasn't playing great. I know Seema's come on to a bit of a game now, but yeah, it's probably more. I would probably kind of fall, and that sounds like I'm kind of copying Ali, but I'd probably fall down the route of what lessons did they learn from not having a sporting director in place during a transfer window, because ultimately it looks like it's failed. So something along those lines, mate. I would think you've probably got one written down. You should have told us about this, mate. I
always like to
give me a
wee surprise.
A bit of time.
Yeah, and I'm not going to tell you what my question would be, just in case I am successful in that ballot, and then I can ask it when I'm there. And plus, I don't actually have one. I just thought I'd put yours in the spot.
Oh, aye, good, Gene. Aye, superb, excellent, mate. Aye, thanks for that. Cheers for that.
No worries. Just looking at the time, I'll skip the one of the other things I was going to speak about, but let's move on to the presser, because given it is his first press conference before a game, quite a lot lengthy one, quite a lot said in it. Some of it we've already touched on, but Ali, just your overarching thoughts on the press conference today.
Thought he was good. Thought he was stern. He's got that stare about him, Scotia. You referred to Walter earlier on. Walter had a stare which basically meant, don't mess with me. He kind of had that about him. He's got a presence about him. Like I said earlier on, some of the stupid questions that he was getting asked by the usual suspects, looking for fishing basically for headlines. He didn't fall into their traps. We've said with Beale before, he said far too much. He did. I thought he answered it correctly. I mentioned Big Rahman, whatever he's called, asked a ridiculous question that I thought...
Ridiculous questions, man.
If you think he's honestly going to give you the answer you want.
He was so bad.
Yeah, Ali, let's speak about that then. He asked about the social media, and then the kind of argy-bargy that's going on with Sutton and Cantwell, which has been for a while, but it's nothing really. It's just daft. It's kind of clickbait stuff. I don't know why they do it. And then Clement made a wee joke about it. Yeah, I'll add that to the list of things I need to do. But in fact, the podcast that Cantwell done earlier in the week it was the beautiful game he done it with. I've not listened to it. I would have spoken about that the night had I listened to it, but obviously it was brought up in the press conference. It's just, Carney, I'm fed up and kind of scunnered with these type of questions. It's a waste of a question, let's put it that way.
Everything that he asks is one of those questions when he asks it, I'm going, why are you asking that? Why are you asking that? He's a terrible journalist. He really is. He's shockingly bad. I don't like anything that he asks. That one, why is that important? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, why is it important? It isn't important. It's... there's a lot bigger things on the manager's minds right now than a spat on Twitter between a an ex-Celtic player in Todd Cantwell. I mean, it really is. It's pretty much irrelevant to what we are seeing going forward. But his questions are they are so poor. They are so poor. And as I say, it was one of those things where, again, we might as well have a mainstream media bashing. It's why people are turning to fan media. It's why people are wanting to hear it from people that are like-minded themselves, instead of people just trying to get snippets and sound bites in order to get clickbaits. It's honestly, he's so bad. I can't tell you how much I dislike him. He's shockingly bad. It is just a waste of a question and a waste of everybody else's time.
Yeah, Ali, were you well? You clearly weren't impressed with it. I don't think anyone was. It was just one of these ones that if I was along at that press conference, I went, yeah, like I say, waste of a question. You could have got something. Or could he get something, actually? I'll ask you that as well, Ali. Could he get something, because he was very tight-lipped today in his press conference, I felt, and I quite liked that.
He wasn't giving anything away to them. If somebody asked him a question at the beginning, was it Gordon Duncan, I think? And he basically said, I'm not going to tell you that. So I think he's media trained, Scotia. Similar to Gerrard was extremely media trained. He was very, very good with the media in terms of he would give them wee bits, but he would never tell them what they wanted. This guy seems along the same lines in terms of that. So you'll just need to get used to it, Scotia. I mean, Carney's going on about the fan media there, but people want to listen to fan media because these guys that go to these press conferences from BBC, STV, whatever they are, some of the questions they ask, Scotia, I mean, I know their job's to try and get lines for their newspaper, clickbait, if you want to say, but it's ridiculous at times. And as you say, Scotia, it's a waste of a question. So, it's interesting going forward how he deals with the Scottish media up here.
Yeah, I mean, because Carney obviously get asked the question. I think it was Gordon Duncan that was first up doing it, and like he said, it's not for your eyes, it's not for your ears, but he has learned stuff about the squad, which I like to hear. He spoke about the change, and he says, yeah, there will be change, and he hopes to see differences tomorrow. But again, I quite liked, he's not Harry Potter with his wee stick to wave about and make everything better, and he's been pretty honest with that, from the get-go, that yes, there will be failures. Again, Kenny reiterated what he'd said on Tuesday about there will be failures. It's how we learn from those failures. And also on that as well, he gives us your response to that. And he spoke about the similarities that he's faced coming into Rangers at this time of the season that he did with Genk and he did with Monaco, which I think, again, is one of the reasons that probably swung him the job.
Yeah, no, I think in terms of an overall press conference at the start, I wasn't expecting much more than what he'd already said in the previous ones that we've seen. There was nothing that was really... Today was all about me. Today, for me, even was all about who's fit. Who's fit. There was nothing... but even like questions like, can you tell us what tactics and that you're going to approach? Something along those lines. I can't even remember. It was one of those questions. It was like, you tell me what a formation or what your training's going to be, and all that. Well, I'm not going to tell you. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to tell you what I'm doing with my players. Why would they do something like that? It's one of those questions. Again, it's just a pointless thing to ask. But in terms of the way he speaks, he's very stern, and I think he seems to be quite honest. Obviously, we're taking everything at face value right now. The proof will be in the pudding, as it always is. But he's pretty. He's honest as he could possibly be, I think, about how things are and how he's approaching things. The biggest thing I took away from his press conference today, apart from who was coming back into. Coming back into the squad, it was the bit when he said that he's even all over the medical staff, and we are crying out for the medical area of the medical area of Ibrox to be kind of redone completely, because there's definitely concerns over it. I think we can all agree with that. There's definitely concerns around the medical team. So, but rightly or wrongly, I don't know, but the way injuries have went, it kind of led us to believe that there's something not quite right there. So when he was saying he thinks that the medical team will probably be a wee bit surprised by him because he'll want to know every single detail. I like that, and that shows future planning for him as well. He'll be on the medical staff saying, give me a report on when you think he's fit. Do you know what I mean? It's not going to be 7 to 10 days thing for the rest of the time. So it's when he said it, I was like, that's good to hear. It really is good to hear. I think he's genuinely a guy that is all over everything, if that makes sense. He will be in complete control of everything. And then obviously working in conjunction with a football director in terms of the transfers in and out. But apart from that, everything down from training and medical staff to probably what the players are eating, with the sports scientists, with the kind of scouting that we're going to be doing, it's something he's going to be absolutely all over. And it's good to know that. It's good to know that he wants to get his teeth into absolutely everything. But in terms of our press conference from today, it is what it was today. As I say, it was no more than I expected from him and no less. He seems very clever with his answers, and it's as Ali said, it will be interesting. At one point, somebody's going to ask him a question. He'll probably pick up a chair and launch it at them. Forward to seeing.
Yeah, no, I noted the question about the medical team as well. And he spoke about, the training that he's going to do with the players and things and targets that they'll need to reach, which is pretty good. But Carney, like you say, one of the main reasons we all watched the press conferences and really all we want to take away from it most of the time, I think today was maybe a wee bit different because it is his first one, like I'd said, is the injury situation in Ali. It was confirmed that Cantwell and Roof are available, but not for the 90 minutes. I think that was the same with Ryan Jack. Available, but not for the 90 minutes. Lawrence, Matondo and Cifuentes, all unavailable. Making a wee bit of progress there. He did also speak about Danilo. That he didn't say that he wasn't. Well, he'll include him because I think he needs to, but he's just got issues with the adapting to wearing that, which looked like quite a big, heavy Castor face mask he was wearing earlier in the week.
Yeah. The Kamara Roof one, them telling us that he's a canny last 90 minutes. That's not due to us anyway, so. Apart from that,
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that. You know that.
Apart from that one game, Carney, they actually did play 90 minutes, so we were all shocked.
Yeah.
Aye, but then he got injured. I seen he had the big moon boot things on that I don't know if it regenerates your legs or something. He was sitting on Instagram the other night with them on, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, we're getting players back. Cantwell's a critical one for me, Scotia coming back, because we lack creativity. So he's a huge one for me. Tom Lawrence, hopefully coming back soon as well. So yeah, we need to get these guys back, Scotia, because we're thinning the ground, especially with creative players and up top as well. So it was good to hear. And obviously the guy that all the guys are on the laughing comments about, Jack Ryan, he can't last 9 minutes either. So he'll never live that one down, will he, Jack Ryan? I bet that's good in the group chat with the players. He's getting belters, Ryan Jack. But, no, it was good to see that Cantwell's back because he's the guy that makes Rangers tick, Scotia. And I know he said he can't last 90 minutes, so I'll need to watch him. But for me, another spoiler alert, starting tomorrow. Even if you get 60 minutes in, I'm starting. Get the crowd don't need to get going tomorrow because obviously it's his first game back. But if you've seen Cantwell on that team sheet tomorrow, it gives you a buzz because he makes Rangers tick. So for me, he starts tomorrow. There's somebody agreed with me.
That's exactly what they said. Yes, in fact, I've got 13 WhatsApp notifications there. What was going to say?
Your only fans away.
Any final thoughts? Any final thoughts on the kind of the injury news we received today before we move on to speak about Hibs and teams and etc.?
No, I can't really add in more than what Ali said, mate. To be honest, it's pivotal that we get Cantwell back into the number 10 role, mate, and I believe that's what Clement will be thinking of doing. I thought it was interesting to say that he would have to include Danilo because he kind of needs to, and I was like, oh, goodness me, what does that say about the rest of the players that he has at his disposal if the guy's running about with a face mask on that looks bigger than his face, really, you'll have to include him because he doesn't have an option. I think it says a lot about what he's seen so far. Maybe it doesn't, maybe I'm reading too much into it, but it was one of these comments where I thought, oof. But again, it's not really down to fitness really for Danilo. Danilo will be fit, it's just a case of can he avoid getting smashed in the face, and can you hand on your heart saying that a Scottish defender of another team won't try their best to smash him in the face? I don't know if I can say that. But Billy, thank you so much, mate. Very much appreciated for the donation, mate. That's superb.
Cheers,
thank
Billy.
you.
Cheers,
It's just the Cantwell one for me. It is. It's the Cantwell. When I heard he was back, I was like, thank God, man. Like, honestly, I can't wait to see him again in his natural position. And as I say, I'm not trying not to put words into the manager's mouth, but if he plays Cantwell as a number 8, he's not going to last very long in this job. So I think it's crucial now to get him back into the middle of that pitch and let him do what he's been doing. The guy's by far the best number 10 that we have at the club. So very excited to see him back in how many minutes it will be for tomorrow.
Carney, where's Kieran Dowell? That's an interesting.
Yeah, he's back in training. He's back in training.
I know he's training. I was actually going to come to that when I was discussing my team, because I was like, what's happened to him? Because he's no, that's fine. It was because he's not. We've not really heard any news updates about Dowell. He's kind of went under the radar. Yeah. So, but I think, as Carney says, he is training. He wasn't mentioned as being one of the players that was unavailable. He wasn't mentioned as one of the players that's couldn't last the 90 minutes. So that's an interesting one, Ali. Yep. So that leads us on nicely, actually, then to the Hibs game. So yes, we'll be up against Hibs tomorrow, who are sitting 7th in the table on 9 points. They have lost 3 games like ourselves, unfortunately. Well, for us, unfortunately. But they've also drawn 3. They're also joint second scorers with us, but they are the worst, one of the worst for goals conceded, along with a couple of other teams as well. They're not too long into a new manager coming in, Ali, with Nick Montgomery coming over from Australia. And under him, they haven't actually lost a game. It was under the previous manager that they had those losses. What are you expecting from Hibs tomorrow, and what are you expecting from us?
Hibs. Montgomery's in there. He managed, was it Central Mariners or something, Scotia? The one Jason Cummins played under him, didn't he? Out there, yeah. So, he's got a tune out of Hibs since he's come in. They're obviously the semi-final of the League Cup, Scotia. They were 2-0 down to Hearts, came back, drew 2 each. So, Hibs are one of these teams. We talk about teams that come to Ibrox and sit in, park the bus, and really don't play football. Hibs are one of these teams that actually come to Ibrox over the years and try and play football. So they might suit Rangers tomorrow, Hibs, in terms of, I don't think they'll sit in. I think they'll come and have a go at Rangers. And why not? Because if they've looked at Rangers previously, I'd be coming and having a go at Rangers. So they potentially could suit us tomorrow because they'll open up slightly, Hibs. But they'll be up for it, Hibs, Scotia. And they'll fancy themselves, and why not? Because they've got a new manager as well, and they've had the new manager bounce, if you want to say. So will we get the new manager bounce? That's what I want to see tomorrow. But I think it'll be a good game of football. It always is a good game of football when we play Hibs, if you're going to understand, at Ibrox too. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, Carney, I mean, what are your thoughts on facing Hibs themselves? Do you think, because Hibs are one of these teams like Aberdeen, I tend to think of, like Ali said, they'll come and they tend to have a bit more of a go than some of the other teams that we come up against. And then I can just see there as well. Thank you very much, Justin Muir. Ali, do you want to take it away?
Take it away, Ali.
God bless America, Justin. What a man. When are we going to Texas? When are we going to Texas to go out with Justin? Honestly,
we do need to go out with Justin. Justin, thanks very much. That's magic. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. What am I expecting from Hibs tomorrow? It's a difficult one, as you say, mate, because they're a bit transitioning, if you like, just now. I don't know if they will come and really have a go tomorrow. I think they'll very much try and suss Rangers out tomorrow because they are entering into an unknown, as are we all, I suppose. We can make educated guesses, yes, but we don't actually know what we're about to see tomorrow. It'll be an interesting game in terms of how we line up, but I think it's more interesting to see how Rangers approach it than what Hibs is all about. I believe that the manager will 100% focus on us, and that I like his thought process behind all that and his philosophy behind that. Is it's not really about any other team, it's about what we are doing, and that's very much what we need to start doing. Under Bale, it was too much about what the other team are doing. We have to very much focus on ourselves, but the best players that you have available in the positions or under the formation that you want to play, and we'll take it for there. I don't think Hibs will come all guns blazing, maybe not for the first 30 minutes anyway, until they suss us out. But Ibrox won't be the same as it has been. That kind of aura of negativity and the very, very, very short patience that we had under Beale has gone now. We're all I would say I've not spoke to anybody that's not looking forward to seeing what Clement does tomorrow. So I think it's more about us tomorrow than it is about Hibs, and I expect Rangers to be a bit of a bounce tomorrow. Yeah, I expect a bit of a bounce. I expect a much higher tempo. I expect a much higher work rate. And I think if we do both of them things, we've got enough to beat Hibs tomorrow.
You speak Scotia.
Is Scotia gone? I think Scotia might be gone.
Yeah, no, it's just lagging. Sorry, guys.
That was a huge delay, that, wasn't it?
I'm here. It's just a wee lag there. Sorry, everyone. Yeah, sorry. It's all catching up. Yeah, so thank you, Carney. Ali, will you give us your team and score prediction, please?
Scotia's obviously about a million miles behind, so thank you very much to Jim Sloan as usual. And
Yeah, I know, but also this one,
donations.
yeah, the Bluebells are
the
blue as well.
Bluebells are blue as
Gifted
well.
5 club. That's amazing. Thank you so much. That's superb.
Yeah.
And Jim, as always, thank you so much. And Stevie T, thank you so much, mate. Really do appreciate that. Brilliant. It's good to have you all back. You can tell in the nicest possible way. You can tell there's positivity amongst the Bells, mate, because they're all in about it tonight. So no, so honestly, so much appreciated. The boys will definitely be getting a beer tomorrow. Don't you worry about that.
Yeah, Big Dodger just used my joke in the comments there, Canny, about Scotia's daft talking.
So he has.
I retired that as well because Scotia was sick of me saying that. I've not said it in ages, but
brilliant, Big Dodge.
Big Dodge, you said it, but no, my team for tomorrow, Scotia and score. I'm going with. We might be. I don't know. It's going to be a hard one to pick tomorrow.
Are you going to pick your own team or what you think you'll play?
A bit of both, if you know what I mean. Right. I'll say when I go what I mean. So okay. Butland, Tav, Goldson. I'd play Davies because I'm playing Yilmaz at left back, and I think it's a better balance when the two of them are there. So that's my back 5. Number 4, John Lundstrom. I think we'll play. Yes or no, Carney. Raskin. For me, I'm playing Cantwell. If he's got 60 minutes in him, play him. Cantwell, I think he'll light it up. Seema, again, he deserves. He's the guy scoring goals for us. I know he is a bit of an enigma, but he plays for me. I'm playing the young boy McCausland as well. I'd give him a chance tomorrow. This is a tough one for me. If Kamar Roof's fit, and he was on Instagram with the big stupid boots on, Kamar Roof plays for me. But I've got a feeling he might play Dessers tomorrow. He's mentioned Dessers a couple of times. Obviously, he's a Belgian too. He needs a bit of confidence, but that's my kind of team. And for tomorrow, I can see Hibs scoring, to be honest. 3-1 Rangers, Seema to score first. Scotia's lag's about 100 years in it.
I think he has got a bit of a serious problem, Scotia. Yeah,
I think we might need to finish it here, can't we?
I think we might, mate. We're not even going to get you here, Scotia's team. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Scotia, if you are back, you can take over after I do my team, mate. My team's the same as yours, Ali, apart from... Yeah, your connection's all over the place, mate. My team's the same as yours, apart from I would play Rice instead of Lundstrom, because I think it's about time that he gets a go. And yeah, I think it's a difficult one between Dessers and Roof. I think he might give Dessers the benefit of the doubt. He might have hopefully installed a bit of confidence and belief into Cyril Dessers, and we might see more from him. Again, that's me being blind optimistic. I do understand that. I know I'm being very optimistic considering what we have seen from Dessers so far. But I would go along with that team, mate. I would go along with that team. I'll go 2-0 Rangers and Cantwell to score first because he'll be back. So yeah, Scotia just messaged me, by the way, he's having a mare. So it's up to me and you, mate, to see this out tonight. So in terms of Danilo, do you think Danilo will start him on the bench then? It sounded like he was going to.
It did, yeah, and that mask is this ridiculous mask he's got. I know Halloween's coming up soon, but it's a huge mask he's got on. But yeah, he goes on the bench for me. He's got to put him on the bench, Carney. You look at he's talking about Kamar Roof not playing 90 minutes. We all know that Dessers can't kick a barn door at the moment. So Seema's the only guy really scoring for us up the top line. So he's got to be on the bench. And Lammers as well. None of us have even mentioned Lammers in that team there, Carney. That just shows how far down the pecking order he is in terms of us as fans, because I'll be interested in what he does with him.
In terms of if he was going to play a 4-2-3-1, I don't think it suits Lammers, especially if Cantwell's back. I'm not even Cantwell coming in off the right or in off the left. Maybe off the left, possibly coming in off the left. But yeah, if Cantwell's fit enough to play 60 minutes, 70 minutes, then you play him as far as I'm concerned, because you're spot on correct that it doesn't give us a lift. I don't think we really need, at the point we need a lift. A new manager's always going to give you a bit of a lift, but it'll give you something to really get excited about, the fact that you're going to see him back. So yeah, we'll leave it at that tonight, mate, because I think Scotia's still a wee bit all over the place. Thank you to everybody in the chat tonight. Thank you for Scotia for hosting the majority of this podcast before his dad fell off the bike. But no, all the comments, all your donations as well, really do appreciate it. Generally, I do. Ali, for tonight, mate, Scotia asked me to say thank you very much.
Did he get nervous? Was that the reason he came off at the end?
He's too nervous.
Yeah, that's what happens when you live in the back of beyond down in Helensburgh and they've got dial-up Wi-Fi down there. So, poor Scotia, because he did well today. He was disappointing in the Manscaped promo, but he's been off for a while, so I'll let him off. But I will see Scotia tomorrow and yourself, Canny. But look forward to it tomorrow. Like you said, 3:00 on a Saturday. Like you, I've cleared for a few beers tomorrow as well, Carney. So we've both got the green light for tomorrow. I think Mr. Haymarch might be making an appearance tomorrow, and also Dixie is coming up as well. So strap yourself.
Oh, brilliant! He's full of positivity, isn't he?
Just strap yourself in for a couple of pints before the game tomorrow.
He's full of positivity, Dixie. No, brilliant. No, I'm looking forward to it. We will be back tomorrow with a reaction pod after the game, win, lose or draw. So until then, if you could like the video, subscribe to the channel, all the usual stuff, and we will speak to you tomorrow. Scotia asked me to say thank you everybody for tuning in. We are Bean Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. Cheers everybody.